Leo was a young man from a quiet mountain town. It was the kind of place where the streets fall silent after sunset. People there carried their hopes and their worries quietly. He was only 20, but his dreams were bigger than the valley he lived in. Most people around him were content with simple routines, but Leo imagined something different. He wanted to own a chain of bakeries one day. He wanted to build something that could change his family's future. His father fixed old engines in a one-room shop. His mother cleaned houses to help cover the rent. His little sister Sophie followed him everywhere. She believed he could do anything. But belief doesn't pay bills, and dreams don't put food on the table. Leo knew that better than anyone. One cold evening, he stepped outside. He wrapped his arms around himself and looked at the stars. People have been making wishes on those same stars for centuries. He didn't speak to the sky. He whispered to himself, "How do I start when we barely have enough to get by?" He wasn't asking for a miracle. He just wanted one step forward. The next day, he talked to his father about his ideas. His father didn't smile. He didn't laugh. He just said something simple. "Dreams aren't free. You don't get to skip the work. Start with what you have. Start small." It didn't sound magical, but sometimes the truest things don't sparkle. Leo thought about what his town needed, not what he wished he had. He noticed that people loved fresh bread, but they had to travel far to get it. No nearby stores baked anything. Most families didn't have time to go to the bakery out of town. That idea clung to him like a burr. He didn't have money to start anything, but he had legs to walk, and he had a reason to try. So he went to meet Mr. Anderson, the bakery owner miles away. Mr. Anderson was known for being stubborn, quiet, skeptical of big talk. But Leo didn't bring dreams. He brought a request. "Give me bread for 1 week," he said. "I'll sell it in my town, pay you back, and keep a small profit." Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. He wasn't impressed. He wasn't convinced. But something in Leo's eyes wasn't asking for charity. It was asking for a chance. So the old man agreed, with one condition. "Fail once, don't come back." Leo carried the bread home before dawn. He set up a small stand near the park. He greeted every passerby like they were already a friend. At first, people hesitated. New things always make people hesitate. So he offered samples. He smiled. He talked. He listened. By the end of the day, everything was gone. He paid Mr. Anderson back that evening. Every coin. He walked home with a tiny profit and a huge sense of direction. Now, it would be easy to say everything got easier after that. But life doesn't work on tidy timelines. Leo woke up at 4 a.m. every morning. He walked miles to the bakery. He carried baskets back to town. He stood outside in the cold or the heat, and he sold. He sold when people passed by. He waited when they didn't. But his determination didn't owe him rest. After 2 months, he saved enough to buy a small cart. That cart let him carry more. And that small cart? It was his first piece of proof that action builds momentum. One day, someone suggested he bake his own bread to earn more. That idea was bigger than it sounded. It meant learning something new. It meant risking failure. It meant maybe losing the support he had. But here's a truth people forget. Growth and comfort don't sleep in the same bed. Leo went back to Mr. Anderson and asked to learn baking. The old man frowned. If Leo could bake, he'd stop buying. But Leo didn't use promises. He used gratitude. "If I make it," he said, "I won't forget who helped me start." There's a kind of honesty you can't fake. Mr. Anderson saw it, and he agreed. The first days were messy. His hands hurt. The dough collapsed. The bread came out like bricks or clouds. There were mornings he wanted to quit, but every failure whispered the same thing his father once said. Nothing is free, not skill, not opportunity, not resilience. So he showed up again, and again, and again. After 2 weeks of fumbling and fixing, Mr. Anderson handed him a loaf. "This one's right," he said. "Sometimes approval doesn't need applause, it just needs sincerity." Leo rented a small oven and started baking at home. His mother made him tea when he stayed up late. Sophie wrapped the bread in paper like it was treasure. Soon, He wasn't just the bread boy, he was the baker people waited for. Then competition arrived. A new bakery opened. Fancy signs, pretty cakes, shiny counters. Leo watched his sales drop. Fear chewed at his confidence, but instead of folding, he paid attention. He asked people what they liked about the new place. Some said the decorations, others loved the icing designs. So he painted his cart, he added small touches, he offered samples. He learned how to decorate pastries using library computers. Customers came back, not because he was perfect, but because he kept evolving. Months passed, business grew. He rented a tiny shop and called it Leo's Fresh Bakes. It wasn't big, but it was warm. His father fixed things that broke. His mother handled the numbers. Sophie greeted customers with the kind of joy adults forget how to express. And that could have been the happy ending. But real life doesn't pause just because you're finally standing. One night, a small fire started near the oven. Leo put it out, but the damage was bad. Equipment was ruined. The walls were covered in smoke. The next morning, half the town showed up, not to buy, but to check on him. Some people thought it was over. Some whispered that maybe he'd quit, and for a moment, he wondered the same. But quitting doesn't happen all at once. It happens when you let it grow, and he refused. He baked at home again with whatever tools he had left. He told people he'd keep going, even if it meant starting small. Again, and something powerful happened. The same people he had served started helping him rebuild. Some brought ingredients, others gave small donations. A few offered to repaint walls and fix shelves. They didn't do it out of pity. They did it out of respect, because people will help someone who helps themselves. Months later, Leo's Fresh Bakes reopened. It was better, brighter, more alive than before. On opening day, the mayor called him an inspiration. Leo didn't stand on a stage. He didn't give a speech about success. He just looked around at everyone who showed up and said, "Nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. You earn what you stay committed to, and that's the real story. It's not about bread. It's not even about business. It's about starting when you have little. It's about being willing to fail in front of people. It's about asking for help after you've already helped yourself. It is about understanding that every setback is just a test of how badly you want to keep going." Leo didn't build a bakery. He built proof that dreams don't come to those who wait. They come to those who walk, those who carry, those who ask, those who learn, those who improve, those who try again when things burn down. So maybe the question isn't, can you do it? Maybe the real question is, will you keep going after the first 100 times it feels like you can't? Somewhere in that answer is the life you're meant to build.